Hello, crypto bros. Today, Bitcoin pumped. We're going to talk about that, obviously, but also we need to talk about other things like where I expect it to go. And of course, we need to talk about like what could possibly bring it down because there obviously is one big event. But before we do any of that, I want to show you something I got. So some of you wanted wall decorations. We got this Bitcoin tapestry thing. I want it to hang right behind me, but I do need to buy like kind of like a tapestry hanger type of thing, and that might actually take a while. Plus, like I want it like kind of cheap one because I'm only going to use it for like 10 minutes while I'm actually like recording videos and maybe during stream. And plus, my room doesn't have a lot of space to put extra crap in. So, we're going to take care of that later, but let's actually talk about what's Bitcoin up to recently. Obviously, it pumped today from 109 to 114. That's not a 5%, still going up. And why is that happening? Well, it's not because of ETFs. There were actually about $900 million outflow from ETFs. But the retail buyers and some of the institutional buyers are definitely picking up the slack. And plus, the market is actually controlled by futures now. So futures have actually gone a little bit more positive. Open interest on the futures is huge. So there's a lot of people interested in trading crypto. But that's not necessarily a good thing because there's a lot of shorting as well. There's also other events that are like influencing people to buy. For instance, the person with the world's highest IQ right now, debatable, has actually converted all his assets to crypto. So stuff like that does actually influence crypto bros. I don't know if it really should, but it does. So Young Hoon Kim, who claims to hold the world's highest IQ at 276, announced in late September 2025 that he has converted all his assets to Bitcoin. However, the legitimacy of his claim has been disputed by experts. So we don't really know if he actually has the world's highest IQ, but 276 is definitely up there, significantly higher than Einstein or Newton. But that does not actually mean he is smarter than Einstein or Newton. He has not achieved what those guys have, obviously, but it just means that he has a really high IQ. So the conversion on social media, including Instagram and X, Kim stated that he converted his entire net worth to Bitcoin, asserting that it is the only hope for the future economy. Now, let's be sure, he's in Korea. South Koreans have basically lost hope in their economy because it's been kind of crap. Their population pyramid is inverted downward, which means they're losing population. And the country, like Japan and China, is kind of in economic dire straits. Of course, so he actually sees like, the Korean won is not it. He also doesn't see the American dollar being it, although it is very useful right now, obviously, because he sees America's debt growing. And also America, I think, especially under Trump, is going to lose some influence on the world stage, becoming more isolationist. So his controversial claim, while Kim has been publicly referencing his IQ of 276, some experts have questioned the validity of such an extreme score, which is plausible. Standard IQ tests are not designed to accurately measure intelligence at such high levels. There have been allegations of connections between Kim and the institutions that claim to verify the score. In addition to converting his assets, Kim predicted that Bitcoin will increase at least 100 times in value over the next decade and will become the ultimate reserve asset. Now, I don't know about this increasing 100 times in value. That's over $10 million, but I won't put it out of the question. I think Michael Saylor and co. would actually agree with Kim. And of course, he has a company that's kind of based on Bitcoin, so he's going to be biased. So Kim is associated with a company called American Bitcoin, ABTC, which was founded by Donald Trump's sons. He has predicted that ABTC would become the world's largest company by market cap. However, the value of ABTC stock dropped shortly after his recent listing on NASDAQ. So I think he is just being sneaky and he's being biased. He's smart because he's trying to improve his own net worth. But I would take this highest IQ thing and his predictions with a grain of salt. But there are a lot of people basically buying more Bitcoin. And I think that is making up for the outflow of basically ETF money from Bitcoin right now. So what can actually like stop this? Oh, by the way, my projections for this, my next goal by mid-October, hopefully, is about 135. That's been my next goal for a long time. If you look at Bitcoin's highs and lows, like last time we went from around 112 to 125. So I think like from 125 to 135 would definitely be the logical next step for Bitcoin. That will have an outsized influence on altcoins. Altcoins, today is actually not a bad day to pick them up because even though Bitcoin has risen a lot, altcoins have not gotten the exponential expansion yet, but they will. If Bitcoin can maintain 114, I think altcoins can go up by another 10% or so. So getting some right now might actually be a very, very good idea. I definitely would look at Aster, Avantis, STBL, and XPL at right now because those are the hot ones. And I expect overall the market cap to go to about 4.1 or 4.2 trillion from the 3.8 trillion that it's listed at right now on Live Coin Watch. So yeah, I expect Bitcoin to keep going upward and Ethereum to keep going upward. But I also expect altcoins to gain quite a few percentage points on them. So I would actually buy some altcoins right now, unless you think Bitcoin's going to take another dip, which is possible, obviously. But if Bitcoin can maintain 114 for a few days, definitely think altcoins are coming down up 5 or 10% more. So there is definitely money to actually be made there. And of course, I think Bitcoin's going to go up to 135, hopefully by the end of October. I say mid-October, but really end of October. And at 135, altcoins should be about, I would say 30 to 40% above where they are right now. So those are my expectations. That's not based on what the world's highest IQ person has said. I don't really care about that. But that's based on my own projections and what I've actually seen recently on Bitcoin and altcoin action. Now, what can actually derail all of this? Well, there is the government shutdown. I think that's the big blinking red light. Now, I've said in past videos that the government shutdown shouldn't impact crypto as much as it impacts stocks and the rest of the market. And I fully stand by that, basically, at this point. Because I do think, this guy, this Yoo-Hoon Kim guy, I think a lot of them will actually put more money into Bitcoin if they see the U.S. government shut down because they don't think the U.S. government is as trustworthy. And they see a lot of rocky times ahead between the two parties, especially coming up to the midterm elections. They see some turmoil in the United States maybe. So they want an asset that's not based around the U.S. dollar. And obviously that's Bitcoin right now. So the thing is, the shutdown, I think it'll have a one-time negative effect on Bitcoin and the economy overall. I think with the AI news and how good Nvidia is actually doing right now today, I think that's really the only thing keeping stock markets from going up even further is the threat of a shutdown. And they're saying that this time it could be different and it could have more of an economic impact, because it could actually last for longer. Donald Trump obviously is not really that interested in compromising. His politics is completely bully politics, and then if bully politics doesn't actually work, his strategy essentially breaks down. The Democrats have usually been giving in, but they have a lot of pressure from their constituents that they don't want to compromise this time. And the budget bill does need 60 votes, I think, in Senate to actually pass, or the filibuster may actually kick up. They didn't revise that rule down to 50. They might, but I don't think even the Republicans want to do that, because if they lose power next time, then the Democrats would only need a simple majority to actually pass rules. So no one actually is wanting to do anything about the filibuster rule. So I don't think either side is going to compromise. The Democrats are going to demand the tax credits for health insurance, which, by the way, is the Republicans should actually want to, because there's more of their constituents on that than there are the Democratic constituents. And Donald Trump obviously has a threat of firing more federal employees, despite the court challenges to his executive authority if there is a shutdown. So they're saying we have reason to think that a shutdown this time may not just follow a past precedent. If Trump follows through, this would be a significant departure from past practice and would inject new uncertainty into the economic effect of a shutdown. And obviously, economic uncertainty is never good for the crypto market or for the greater market overall. Indeed, shutdowns in the past have left little mark other than the political damage done to the party perceived as at fault. Markets have sold off on occasion and then quickly recovered. For growth, most economists calculate the impact as about 0.1 percentage point off gross domestic product for the week, being that the longest closure lasts for 35 days. From late 2018 till the following January, that's not a lot for a $30 trillion economy. The short-term losses are usually easily recouped in subsequent quarters. But right now, the labor market is actually in trouble. Hiring is getting harder and harder, so it would cause the markets to actually go even more. And of course, shutdown means that government employees that are deemed not essential will actually be let go, so the BLS numbers could even be worse than usual. That could actually play out pretty well for crypto, as the Fed would actually have to cut rates more. Maybe that's part of Trump's plan. Who knows? But overall, like there's going to be maybe a significant negative impact on the economy in the very short term over the next month. So maybe it'll just delay things for a while. But I expect crypto to be impacted less than the overall economy. So we should actually be fine unless this government shutdown lasts for over a month. And then a lot of things could actually break loose. So that is the one thing I'm watching out for. Could definitely delay the bull run by even more, maybe like another, half a month or so. Hopefully they can actually get something worked out. But but the chance of a shutdown has actually gone to 70% now, and that's a pretty high chance. But realistically, both USDT and USDC have actually gone up in inflows. There's been a lot of minting of stablecoins. A lot of companies are minting their own stablecoins. So that is actually going to help a lot, and I mean a lot, in making our crypto moon. So that's very, very bullish. Remember, when Tether and USDC mint a lot of coins, usually that means Bitcoin goes up because they use those mints to actually buy Bitcoin. I don't expect this to be any different, and minting is off the charts right now. So stablecoins recorded more than 46 billion in net inflows in the last 90 days, highlighting rising demand for US dollar peg assets in the crypto space. On Monday, data tracker RWA.xyz showed that Tether's USDT stablecoin led the quarter with 19.6 billion in net inflows, followed by Circle's USDC with 12.3 billion. Athena's synthetic stablecoin Athena USDE also stood out with $9 billion. Other players contributed smaller but noticeable inflows during the quarter. PayPal USD, PYUSD saw 1.4 billion in net inflows, while MakerDAO's USDS added 1.3 billion. So essentially a lot of inflows for stablecoins, a lot of printing of stablecoins, and I think soon the stablecoins that have been printed and are flowing right now will actually come in with a price, and that will help Bitcoin. You can see total top flows. Obviously, Tether is number 1, USDC number 2, Athena is number 3, PYUSD is number 4, USDS is number 5, USDI is number 6, M is number 7, USDG is number 8, USDTB is number 9, and of course RLUSD Ripple stablecoin is number 10 at this point. So obviously USDC, USDT are dominating. Athena is actually coming up, but it doesn't actually matter which of those stable coins is coming up as long as they are actually increasing in terms of mint, in terms of volume. That signals good things for crypto because that's getting more people onboarded into stable coins, which will actually get more people onboarded into crypto in the future. So despite the government shutdown, which I don't think will last all that long because I don't think either party can actually take it, despite the government shutdown, I'm still very, very bullish on crypto. Maybe not for the next 15 days, as the government shutdown might have a one-time small effect, but I definitely think I am bullish for the next 30 days and onwards. And if you're not into crypto, maybe think about buying a bag. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.